Last night, Louisville issued a citywide emergency curfew effective immediately as incidents of gun violence continue in the small town.
Our Stephen Pempo talked to the mayor and local law enforcement today about how long that curfew will last, and he joins us in the studio with the very latest on that. Stephen.
Andrea Winston, this curfew runs from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and applies to all citizens except first responders or those traveling to work or school. The mayor says the Board of Aldermen has been discussing the possibility of a curfew for months after a sudden spike in gun violence left the town rattled.
Guns fully loaded, 30-round magazines. How many places does 15 and 16-year-old need to walk around with loaded guns on their person?
That's the question Louisville police want answered after seizing guns from 4 juveniles during the past week alone. They've taken 68 illegal guns off the street so far this year.
In this particular case, the data indicates that we need to get a grip on what's happening in our midnight hours here in the city of Louisville.
But they have to do so with a police force which is only at about 85% capacity.
We're at an all-time high of demand of law enforcement. And the reality is we're probably at the lowest of all-time supply of law enforcement.
Since November, LPD says they've had at least 10 drive-by shootings where gunfire struck a building with someone inside.
A lot of the shootings have been people just spraying bullets, which have hit innocent houses, people's houses.
We have heard gunfire from my house multiple times. And we had an incident of an attempted petty theft in our vehicles.
Which is why the city announced it was implementing an emergency curfew Tuesday night.
This just gives us another tool in our toolbox to be able to have probable cause to figure out why exactly someone is out in the high areas of crime being committed.
The curfew runs from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and applies to all citizens, except for first responders and those traveling to work or school.
It's the same number of officers, but it gives the effect that we've got more out on the street, especially during these problem hours.
The hope is that the curfew can be a short-term measure with long-term effects.
To give our community, hopefully, a peace of mind, not to feel compromised, not to feel bullied, not to feel they're being overrun, but to create a safer Louisville.
The curfew will last until June 22nd. At that point, the mayor says that they'll consult with law enforcement and review the crime statistics to determine whether or not to extend it.